yes. Once again, this is Uncle T boxing. I don't like the way you
sitting.
Yeah, let me just see. Trying to go just a little bit. So yes, this is Uncle T boxing. I'm here. We've got the lead. I've been trying to get a hold of you. I thought we was meant to do this every week. Like, what's been happening?
I mean, to be fair, like, was there what was the last show? What was the last show we did? We did the Matchroom. Yeah, we did the Matchroom show, which was the Katie Taylor. God, what was the main one on that?
It was Matt Nicola, wasn't it?
So I think the only one we've really missed is Callum Smith and Ryder. Obviously not going through the card, but just firstly, before you do the preview, probably definitely the biggest fight of the year. Do you think that was a robbery?
I didn't really score the card at the time. It was a very close fight, but what was disgraceful was the scorecards.
Yeah, absolutely disgraceful.
Scorecards makes whether scorecard is that wide, it always makes a close fight look like a robbery.
Exactly. I mean, if it had been one round, either way, then you would say, okay, fair enough. Maybe they're judging it. Judges will judge differently in terms of, Ryder was quite what would you say? Technically, he was brawling, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He closed the space. He was getting inside. It wasn't particularly pretty, but it worked. But if I'm honest, I thought Ryder won. But yeah.
Without taking too much credit away from John Ryder and his performance, do you think Callum Smith is staying too long at the weight, or he just wasn't as motivated?
I think I was talking to our guy G-Shock, shout out, just before I came here, and it may be that he wasn't motivated in the fact that there's all this talk about big fights with Canelo and got Gallagher going off about want the big money fights. Was he motivated? Is he as good as people think? What is his best win? Groves. And Groves
was definitely injured. His shoulders.
Yeah, he was definitely.
So to this day, his shoulders not 100%.
So I'm going to reserve judgment until he's in another big fight or another testing fight.
Talking about another opponent who wasn't motivated in his last fight. Well, he didn't seem motivated at first. Is Anthony Joshua? That's the reason. There's no way we could have missed this week.
Yeah. Most anticipated, biggest, biggest fight. I say of the year, could potentially be of the decade, mate. And I wouldn't say unmotivated. What I think is he prepared for a certain type of fighter. Ruiz was very clever in the way he psychologically sort of set it up. Everybody talking about how fat he is, the big smile, the way he's looking up at him, and I think he drew him in. And I don't think Joshua expected what he got. I think he was not unprepared, but I think mentally he didn't expect it to go down as it did.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, so let's start right.
Let's start from the card up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
The first fight that's going to be on Facebook Live, according to Eddie Hearn, is MAJIDOV against Tom Little.
Yeah.
MAJIDOV is he's had one fight, and he's fighting Tom Little, who's had like 17 fights, 10 wins and 7 losses.
Yep.
How do you see that fight?
It's very hard to tell. I'll be honest, I don't know much about MAJIDOV. I've heard he's a very, very good amateur.
He actually fought Anthony Joshua. He beat him in the amateurs. Yeah.
Didn't he? Wasn't he the one in London?
No, that wasn't.
No, it was at the World Championships.
Yeah, what was it? I think it might have been the World Championship.
I think it was the World Championship. So that goes to show that he's going to have very good fundamentals.
But he beat Anthony Joshua in his own country, so you never know if he was.
Saying that though, I mean, did Joshua? People say that Joshua didn't win in London. Doesn't always, but
I mean, if that fight, if London 2012 was in Cuba, definitely the Cuban would have gone through.
Of course.
Yeah,
but it's one of those ones where you can't really tell where how is he going to transition from pro, from amateur to pro.
Yeah.
We know he's going to have very good fundamentals.
Yeah.
but you know, it's a different ball game. And Tom Little, you know, he's not he's you know not the best you know, heavyweight boxer out there, but he's certainly experienced. You know, he's tough. You know, I'm sure he's got a good right hand. You know, he's got the good. He's got. Well, I don't want to downplay anything. I don't want to, like, because you know, but it may be a case where this is Majidov's breakout fight, where it shows that he is he's gonna do, you know, potentially do well in the heavyweight division, or it could be Tom Little uses that experience, you know, to potentially beat him. But I mean, I'm really just going off the top of my head with this one, but it's the unknown.
But the thing about Tom Little, he's obviously been brought here as the opponent. In his last few fights, he's been basically there to fight like upcoming prospects. So I think that's the idea of them bringing him. In his last 3 fights, he's actually got stopped. He fought HRGOVIC.
Yep.
I don't know if I butchered his name, I apologise. HRGOVIC stopped him. Then after that, he fought Daniel Dubois.
Yep.
No, David Price.
David Price.
Who stopped him. And then he's fought Daniel Dubois, who stopped him as well.
Yep.
So, did he have enough time to train for the club? He's got a new trainer now.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Josh Berman.
Yeah, he's got a new trainer.
Burnham, sorry. So,
he's been in
the bookies we got to watch. But the thing about Majidov, in his first fight, he actually got dropped.
Did he?
Yeah, he got the knockdown against him, but he came over that and he came into WD and win the fight. But I mean, yeah, I want Tom to win. I want Tom to win. I
like Tom.
He's a character.
Yeah, he's a character. Proper character. But I mean, it's an intriguing fight because I don't know, and I like those kind of fights.
Yeah.
Because you know, some of the cards, some of the fights on many cards nowadays, it's so obvious who's going to win. Yeah. Especially some of the matchroom shows. You know what I mean? So we shall see.
We shall see. Talking about HRGOVIC, who beat Thingy, he's going to be next on the line.
Yep, fighting Eric Molina. Decent fighter. I mean, HRGOVIC. I like him. Very, very impressive. Very, very powerful. I think he takes, from what I've seen, he takes a shot to land a shot, and I think in the heavyweight division that can only go so far. I mean, I don't think it will be Eric Molina which which catches him, but Eric Molina does have deceptively fast hands, so it's kind of a clash of styles. Also, how is Molina going to be? I mean, is this his first fight off his ban?
He's probably still on the ban, isn't he? No, it's not his first fight. He's been banned in the UK. But it's not banned.
Okay.
Not in America.
Not in America.
No.
Okay, so ignore me on that one. You'd expect HRGOVIC to be far too much from him, in my opinion. Eric Molina is getting on a bit now, and HRGOVIC is up and coming. Got a very, very good reputation, great amateur pedigree, and he very heavy-handed. So. You know, I would expect him to knock him out.
Okay, that's a fair excellent. I could see that happening. I mean, Eric Molina, he's when he fought Joshua, he fought another journeyman. He won that. Then he had a fight against Dominic Brazil, who retired in that fight. And then after that, I think he's got another win in his record against someone else. So he's just there to just give him. I reckon he's just giving them to. Kind of a not world level, but because it's for a world level, it's got the experience. So it's
a name.
It's a name, and and he's fought Wilder and everyone, so everyone knows him. So it'll be a statement for HRGOVIC to see what he does. Then moving on a little bit further is Dillian White against MARIUSZ.
Yep.
What do you think?
Come on, bro. Body snatch all day. It's like MARIUSZ, you know, he's tall, He's game. He's got a very good jab. I don't think to compare him to a style which Dillian found tricky in. Oh God, what's the guy who robbed Chisora beat but got robbed? The guy from Finland.
Yes. Hellenius.
Yeah. You see, I had quite quick feet,
and
he was able to frustrate Dillian. I don't think MARIUSZ has got the feet to be able to do that. In terms of Dillian though, how fit is he? How motivated is he? Which makes me think, how quickly will he do it? But I expect him to break him down and to brutally knock him out.
I don't know about knockout because it's never been put on his ass. Though he's been stopped. He's got an iron chin and he's fought the best of them. I reckon he might just take enough punishment for the ref to say
to just step in.
Enough. He's slow. I mean, he's got a new look now. I don't know if you've seen him in the press conference. It totally looks different. But 5 years ago, I saw Derek sparring him, and he just bullied him, beating him, like just moving him all over the place. I just couldn't believe it. And Bukoli's stopped him as well, but not on his ass, but just took enough punishment. And obviously,
I think this might be the one where, at some point, things catch up with you, and I'm predicting a knockout. There's only a certain amount of time where the referee is going to step in, and the fight gets to that point. I think Dillian's going to take that frustration of that B sample out on him. Where's the B sample at?
So moving on. Listen, don't get me involved with this. I know too many of No. I've seen Dylan White. He's cool in person. I'm cool with his brother. And
no.
The thing about it is that
I think UCAN are a joke,
100%,
a joke, an absolute joke. I mean, Huey Fury, for example, fought on supposedly a ban, right? Tyson Fury. Now you can pay like £300 for a blood test. What is wrong with this organisation?
I don't know why they keep everything in house as well, and they're quite discreet. All it is that you see Ryan Martin when he fought Josh Taylor, he got found with a substance. A year later, and his family they just banned him. Right?
You could hurt somebody. They're allowing people to fight. There's something dodgy going on there. Not from Dillian's side. I believe that. I
think he wants to come up with say something, but I'm intrigued to know when he does it. When he is allowed, maybe in about 2 years' time. We'll find out.
Even Tyson Fury years later, he's still not come out and given the full kind of lowdown. But Dillian White is, he's world class. I mean, there could even be an argument to say, if he was to fight Joshua now, how would that go? We're not going to move on to that, but Dillian is. Absolutely world-class operator, I expect a decent win.
So moving along, this is one of the most competitive, apart from the main event.
I agree.
Michael Hunter against Povetkin, Alexander Povetkin. Tell me about that fight, how do you see it?
I think they've both got very similar styles in terms of they like to fight on the inside. They both like...
On the inside, I thought Michael Hunter moves quite a bit. I mean, when he fought Martin McCauley, he was moving quite a lot.
He moves
his feet. Because it's not a naturally heavyweight, it's a cruiserweight, he's just gone up.
Okay, maybe some of the clips I saw where certainly he throws some good hooks. But he's the up and comer who DAZN are trying to push. He's clearly American, clearly very talented. Versus Povetkin, who obviously has fought the biggest names in the sport, was a world champion for many years. He's actually had a very long camp for once. Beat, I know Huey Fury is still yet to yeah, we don't really know how good he is, but certainly he beat Hughie Fury in his last fight. It's a real, in my opinion, it's a real 50-50. I couldn't honestly. This is probably well, obviously Ruiz and Joshua is the biggest, the most intriguing fight on the card. But for me, this one, I've got no idea, because it might be a case of the old dog kind of, you know, the young dog kind of, you know, this is his breakthrough fight, on the biggest show, on the zone, you know, American heavyweight, or maybe Povetkin will old man him and use his experience, and you know, he's still got very heavy hands. So I don't know. What do you think?
I always like the changing of the card sort of thing, so to speak. Michael Hunter is, I was quite impressed because last year he came to York Hall, basically he was there to get beaten up by Martin Bakoli, and look, you see what he did to Martin Bakoli, he stopped him. And Martin Bakoli,
It's tough.
you see what he's been doing lately, how he's been looking good lately, and he's ready to fight anyone. And for what he did to Martin Bakoli, and after that he had a few more fights after that. I mean, he's fought who did he fight? He's fought 3 other top heavyweights, and he stopped them. Actually, no, he didn't stop. He fought Kuzman last, who came to beat up David Price, and he was a top Russian amateur, and he even stopped Joe Joyce in the amateurs. You see the video, right? Yeah, that Kuzman guy. So Michael Hunter is a good stock. His dad was a boxer. Passed away obviously before he took his thing, and not only that. At one stage, I didn't think Usyk was that good. He looked at me like, really, because what it was, I didn't know how Michael Hunter was that good. Because when they fought, for a few rounds, Usyk had problems. But now I know why Usyk had problems, because of the quality of Michael Hunter. So I feel that Michael Hunter is going to beat the 40-year-old Povetkin, who, I don't know if they had so much testing. He's old now. He'll probably have a good few rounds, and I reckon Michael will be too fresh for him. I'm going for Michael Hunter on this one.
Referee stepping in?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know the Russians ain't throwing the white towel in, no chance. If he dies, he dies.
Actually, did they throw the right towel against... I saw they threw the right towel against Joshua Povetkin before the ref stopped it for the thing.
Maybe they did.
Yeah. Remember. So what about Joshua? Redemption, revenge.
Bro.
What are you telling me?
No. So hard to call. There's so many unanswered questions. So I'll start on the the Joshua side. Joshua, if Joshua sticks to the way he should box and the game plan he should implement, i.e. be patient, take the centre of the ring, don't jab from the waist like last time, keep your distance, make sure when he tries to get on the inside to make sure he hurts him with with the right hand. Don't be naive in terms of allowing Ruiz in the pocket. Now obviously he's going to get in the pocket, but be more not intelligent, that's the wrong word to use. Be more patient. Yeah. Be more patient about the way he breaks him down. I do have my concerns in terms of Joshua last time. He seemed a bit confused in terms of, apparently now he's got 2 trainers. Where he was jabbing from the waist, that's not a Rob McCracken style. Rob McCracken is very much an amateur.
Because Carl Froch wasn't like that. He used to shoot from the hip as well.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Although with the GB...
And let me stop you there. I don't think the problem was when he was jabbing from the waist. Maybe it's because of the way the demeanour he was and think he was trying to come down to his level. The problem wasn't that. The problem is when he engaged.
He was too
at close range. Andrew Ruiz has got the short arms, so he was faster. So he hit him, and obviously with that shot to the temple helped out. He was concussed.
Mm-hmm.
How I know he was concussed because last week we saw the fight against Tete.
Yep.
Against Casemiro. When he dropped him, he didn't know what was going on. And when Casemiro was rushing him, he didn't even have to hit him back in the face. He just dropped on the floor. And it was just how Joshua was. How he did that for the rest of that fight shows that he that's why he's even saying, why am I feeling like this? He was definitely 100%.
Oh, when people say he quit, he didn't quit. Well, no way. His legs and his equilibrium from getting hits on the temple, well, behind the ear, and those very, very hard hooks. Essentially, his brain, was frazzled, and his legs
his body let him down. The ref asked him, even though when he didn't feel right, the ref asked him, "Do you feel good? I mean, are you ready to fight again?" And he said, "Yes."
Yeah.
And when he got dropped down the last time and he tried to get up and walk towards the ref actually pushed him to the corner. It's like, no. So when he went, you just okay, let me just relax, obviously.
Yeah.
And that taking off the gum shield is a veteran tactic.
Of course, it's by some time.
By some time, it happened against what's his name again? What's that fight? The classic. They both fought Mayweather.
I'm gonna do. God.
Castillo against.
But it's a classic tactic.
Yeah,
it's a classic tactic. I mean, there was a few things within that fight where he could have. I want to see improvements in the next one in terms of grabbing on. Do you feel that he could have held on?
Grabbing, is it like how Vladimir Klitschko fought against Povetkin?
Funny how they got that referee as well. But these little tricks, I don't think he did enough of those last time where he could have done. Do you?
At that stage, it wouldn't have gone down well if Joshua had to fight like that, because he was on the high the week before that. Wilder had knocked out Brazil, so there was no way he was there and he wanted to make a statement, especially with his debut in America. It wasn't there to just try and stink off the place. But now he's lost. Now he could focus on, okay, I'm relaxed. I don't have the pressure of trying to entertain. My coach wants me to stick behind the jab, not try and use my range, and try not to engage too much. Be patient, and try and win the fight, a disciplined fight. He wouldn't know. He says he's confident now, but you won't 100% know to when you're making that ring walk again, and when the bell rings, when Andy Ruiz is right in front of you. He could have done all the training he wants right now, but it all depends on how he feels the moment the bell rings.
Yeah.
I mean,
And there's a huge amount of pressure.
With this fight, this is a fight in a long while where I've had over 100 scenarios happening. Yeah. Anything could happen to so many variables, and he could knock out Ruiz in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah. I mean, if he was a little bit slightly more patient last time, he could have finished him.
But the thing about Ruiz is he punches with you. I mean, when you engage, that's when he has his opportunity to fight.
Counter.
Yeah, counter and punch with you and swing, because it's fast. Boom, 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 boom. And he hits you with 1 or 2 shots before you know it.
Will Ruiz be as motivated for this one? Like, all that money?
I think it would.
Yeah, I think so. The Mexican blood. He wants to prove people wrong. He's on
and the Mexicans are onto him. The governments and everything, they want him. And plus, Al Heyman will want him to.
PBC
are trying to do this belt thing.
Yeah.
They want to unify whatever. So definitely, he will be motivated for this fight.
I think so.
This fight.
Will AJ dropping weight be? Well, he looks leaner. Will that be detrimental to him in the fight in terms of losing that amount of weight? Obviously, can in that short space of time can cause issues. But of course, you've got the benefits of less lactic acid. Hopefully, he should be able to recover quicker if he does get hit with a shot, which buzzes him. But what do you've boxed like what do you
right
think?
now?
What do you think?
Right now, I've lost a lot of muscle from when I was fighting. Just 'cause I'm not training anymore as much, but I haven't lost that much weight. Do you understand?
Yeah, hold it.
I mean, so I would like to see his weighing tomorrow. How much he weighs. He might have lost a little bit of muscle, but still kept a bit of weight. We'll see. It all depends on how much he weighs tomorrow. Is that a good thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
We all depends on the tactics. We do not. That's why
that's the thing with review, review video, especially with a fight like this.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
No one knows.
Yeah. Your last penny, who would you go for?
If I'm honest, I mean, my heart says AJ, my head says Ruiz. If you ask me to give a percentage, I'd say 60% Ruiz. The referee choice this week made me, I don't know, maybe 55%. But I struggle to see a point within that fight where they don't get into a gunsling, and when they get into a war. And after last time, I worry. Yeah, I worry how that's going to go. But on the other side, AJ could break him down intelligently for the first 3-4 rounds. Keep the fundamentals nice. Use the ring well, cut it off, break him down, hold on to him. They've got a nice ref for that. Drain him and then finish him, or potentially just like win on points. Just keep it boring. Don't worry about Wilder and knockouts and this, that, and the other. Just get your belts back. But mate, I don't know. What do you think?
There's a lot of people that say if he does this, if he does that, blah blah blah. There's too many things in my head.
Too many scenarios.
Too many scenarios. So I'm going to leave it like this. I want Anthony Joshua.
Let's bring it home.
I want Anthony Joshua to do it.
Yeah.
Bring it back. Bring boxing back again to bring in, because we're down without him.
Yeah, we need him.
The pay-per-view numbers. Not many people have done good pay-per-views this year, so we need Anthony Joshua just to make sure keep the interest going. And they were like, you see all these people who are out, like, everyone loves AJ beforehand, then suddenly after, he's a bodybuilder, this, that and the other, like, I want him to be like, as he said in his interview, just to be like, fuck you to everyone. Bring it back to England, bring it back to Britain rather. The thing is that you can't just say fuck you to everyone, because this is people buying a pay-per-view.
No, not fuck
and
you.
It's still going to be selling. There's still going to be he's the highest.
To the haters. Yeah. To the haters. To the haters.
You do that to the haters.
And I like that as well, because he's been he's very well media. But I wouldn't say media trained. He knows how to. He's very intelligent with the way he presents himself.
He thinks before he answers.
Thinks before he speaks.
See, when he asks him a question, so how do you think you're going to win? He was like, how do I think I'm going to win?
And he thinks, yeah. So no, it's not people say media trained and this, that, and that. He's intelligent about the way. But to the people who have been giving him grief, I'd like to see. I like this new attitude of people say humble. He's too humble. This, that, and the other. For him to turn around and just be like, "See, told you."
He's done alright in life, though, hasn't he?
Oh, come on, bro.
I mean, coming down from what for the now, a whole nation's decided to build a stadium.